I thought this might be fun to do. I just tried to watch a movie that was a world premiere on Netflix, and it was getting all this critical hype. And they were talking it up like, oh, this is really cool and artsy and it's whatever what it's about is whatever you make of it, and it's a challenge for the viewer, but it's rewarding and worthwhile. And I was like, all right, I'm in. Sounds like my kind of joint. Well, it wasn't. The movie's called Spaceman, and it stars our favorite Adam Sandler. But it's serious Adam Sandler. It's actor Adam Sandler, and Adam Sandler, to be fair, has done some movies where he's actually done the acting thing and has done it well. So not casting any shade, as the young folks say, on the prospect of Adam Sandler as a serious actor. Um, but it's just not very good. So so the premise of this movie, Spaceman, is this guy, the titular spaceman, uh, that is to say, the spaceman of the title, has been in space for 150 days. He's gone out to the farther reaches of the solar system near Jupiter, and I know maybe space isn't real, but let's just put that aside for now. Like I've said before, you guys, you flat Earth guys, you space isn't real guys, you look just it's just a story that's being told. So don't hold that against it if you think space is fake and gay. The problem here isn't that it's isn't anything about space. Uh, what is the problem? Well, let me let me try to investigate it a bit further here as I talk about it. So he's been in space for 150 days. He's got a wife back home, and his wife has decided that she's done with him. She's through with him, and so they have this special way of communicating with each other. They have this comm link where they can talk every day, even though he's, I don't know, millions of miles away. I guess it's the near future, and they've conquered certain technologies that they, or maybe they already have that technology today, but they just aren't telling us, or maybe space doesn't even exist, and we're living on a flat Earth, and that's all that there is. But anyway, uh, she just decides, I'm done with him. I'm through with him. I've had my fill of this guy. So she leaves him on red. Um, Now she is pregnant. This is Carrie Mulligan, who I last remember playing Daisy Buchanan in Great Gatsby. Although I think she's done some things since then. I think she's garnered some critical attention, from what I can gather. But anyway, she's his wife. She's significantly younger than him too. But I don't know. That's let's just put that aside too. But she just the problem is she just decides, I don't want to be with him anymore, and she leaves him on red. She leaves him. He's 150 days out in the middle of nowhere. Approaching this purple nebula thingy to investigate it and bring back the results. I don't know why he had to take this journey all by himself. Maybe that's explained at some point in the part of the movie that I didn't watch. But she just leaves. I mean, I was sort of like, what the hell? Why would you do that? Why would you leave your guy behind and just now he doesn't have the love of his life to talk to, even if the two of you are having problems, if you're having marital problems. I mean, wait for him to come back before you decide that you're done with it. But don't just leave him in the lurch when he's out there, near Jupiter and far away from everybody. That was the first thing I just couldn't ser- I couldn't make that leap. Um, I couldn't understand why she would do this kind of thing, and I know that there are people out there who would be like that, but they're not the kind of people, not people that I would want to know in any way. And so I lost all respect for her. And, the fact that she was pregnant with his child and was going through all of the emotions of a pregnancy, that's not enough of an excuse. That just doesn't, it just didn't ring. Uh, but somehow we're supposed to see her side as well as his side. I don't know. I could not see her side whatsoever. But then you also have this creature, this like spider like creature. Actually, it looks like it looks like a giant spider. That's what it looks like. It looks like a giant spider puppet, and suddenly it's on board his ship with him, and he thinks he's hallucinating, but then it turns out that it's actually an actual spider being, and the spider being calls him skinny human. That's his like term of endearment, which is weird. It was supposed to be funny, but I don't know. So many things are just sounding a sour note for me in this movie, and I'm getting kind of restless. This is like the 20-minute mark, 25-minute mark, and I'm like, do I really want to stay through the rest of this? And so they like the spider creature wants to try to understand him, wants to help him out in this time where his wife has abandoned him, and so wants to fill the void that's left by his wife. Um, and so they start talking. And I'm just like, okay, so the spider creature has been uh was just floating through the universe. I don't know. Can he breathe in space? I, uh, what was going on with that? Apparently, he was wiped out. His species was wiped out by some creature that's given some goofy name. And like this is all done so seriously. It's so like heavy-handed, and it's so ridiculous. It's just like I can appreciate making a science fiction movie and not being not doing the camp thing, wanting it to take it seriously. But I just like this thing with this giant spider, with this kind of Hal like voice. His voice is kind of like Hal 9000. He's kind of got this really soothing voice, which is sort of creepy. But I don't think we're supposed to see him as creepy, even though he is creep. He does actually creep. So, and it's Paul Dano who does his voice, and I liked him as the Riddler. I thought he was really good in the Batman as the character of the Riddler. He stole the show there, but in this case, okay. So I just I went ahead and I stopped watching, and I just said, well, I do this more and more now that I'm older, like where I just get the feeling that, all right, my time is limited. But I also kind of want to know what happens. So I looked at spoilers and found out what happens in the end. Uh, and I'm not going to spoil it for you just in case you want to see it. But it just didn't, that when I read the spoilers, it didn't make me say, oh, it's going to go in that direction. That sounds interesting. I want to let me tune in again and see it, see how it takes shape and so forth. It was sort of like, no, that this is all pretty lame. This is all pretty dumb. Um, so that was Spaceman. I mean, and I just is it fair that I turned it off after like maybe a half hour uh, into it? I don't know. Is it fair for me to give a review? I think it is, because I think if I'd kept watching, I would have been just as unimpressed with the next, uh, I guess, hour and a half. I think it's 2 hours long, or almost 2 hours long. Um, but I don't know. It's just a weird offering for a weird thing for Netflix to like sort of trying to do the Solaris esque, or 2001: A Space Odyssey esque, like really heavy, ponderous sci-fi. Uh, I just can't get over why. I think that I just the big stumbling block for me was that his wife would just would just leave him in the dust. I mean, I mean, I refuse to be that much of a misogynist. I can go a certain length with misogyny and say, yeah, just like a woman, and what have you. But I think if you're a woman and your husband is off in space, lo- going absolutely losing his mind, stuck in this little this little glove compartment, basically, for the length of a year and a half, or however long he's out there. The least you could do is talk to him, talk to the guy every day, let him hear your voice. The fact that she just leaves him on red, and the people at like mission control, they have to try to cover for her. They have to try to say, oh well, because she sent some message to it where she was like, I'm done with you. And they eavesdropped, and they saw that she wasn't, that she saw, that she said. So I guess they're watching their every transmission, which is also kind of screwed up. Like this, these are private conversations between a husband and a wife. But they saw that she was leaving him, and they decided not to send that to him. And they were sort of saying, oh well, there's something wrong with her. We're working on it. Oh, she's going to visit her mother. Uh, making up these lame excuses. Anyway, it's garbage.